Chiquinha, Chiquinha.
Go check out the room.
Chiquinha.
Okay, I'm the content creator for this channel. If you like what I'm doing, just subscribe and then also hit the that little bell. That means you're gonna get notified of other videos that I do. Okay, so this is gonna be Costa Rica, San Jose. So I'm gonna be walking down something that's called the pedestrian street, the main street in the city. And I like taking these kind of videos because you get a good sense of the people in a city and just kind of what it feels like. And in this particular one, you can also see what a lot of the shops look like. And I'm going to walk into a kind of cool shop that has kind of a mix of stuff for locals and for tourists. And so you're going to get a view of that one today in this film. The pedestrian street is kind of, there's two parallel streets, and this is probably the main one. So actually I stayed in a hotel right on this street. So, and there's you can see some parks and then little flower shops. So I kind of got everything right here, you know. Like I was really surprised with San Jose, Costa Rica, in that how Americanized it was, and just just how the large variety of shopping and stores and things like that, especially on the street. Fast food restaurants as well. So so anyways, you can get a sense of the people, and actually the people too. They like each Latin country has a different look of people. You know, some of them have like a higher percentage of African mixed in, and some like more indigenous, and some are more Spanish, European Spanish. You know, kind of like that. And Costa Rica, you can just by looking at the people, you can see a more of a like I don't see as much African or mestizo influences at all. Really, I mean, there's just a tiny little bit. It feels like it's more. Like not really Spanish look, but more like that than other places. This is a place I'm going to go into. It's you just probably caught the name, but as I was going in, you can go back and take a look at it. You can find this place if you wanted to. And they kind of have a lot of like tourist shop stuff in here. And back in the back, there's these kind of cool restaurants. So you can see the Costa Rica stuff. And he kind of had just a lot of stuff for sale in general, as you can see as well. And I actually, basically, I guess like that's one thing that's kind of interesting about Costa Rica. It reminded me a lot of. I just kind of felt like I was in like the 51st state. So the way I can say. You know, because there's just like all these kind of tourist shop stuff, and just there was like people spoke Spanish, of course, but a lot of people also spoke English. I could use American dollars. You know, if I could pull out like $100 to get my change back in Costa Rican money, and most places would take it. If I remember right, that's the way. So at least that was my. I didn't do that very often. I just did it at the hotel and I think one other place, and you know I didn't even have to go to an exchange place. They just kind of were willing to take American dollar in places, and of course give you back change in the local currency. Yeah, this shop is just kind of interesting, especially when I go in the back a little bit and I can see, just the way that it's set up and designed. And kind of what I'm actually kind of walking. I'm not really a shopping kind of person, so but I like to kind of see what's in a shop because it gives me a better picture of just different things from doing that. So I'm going to go back out in the streets too. So if the shop or not is interesting to you, we'll be back out in the street soon for the second half of this video, or for like more like the last 2/3 of it. Yeah, I'm going to go right out on the streets right now, actually. So, okay, let's see. What else did I tell you about Costa Rica? Yeah, I went out to a volcano. I'll put some of those pictures up later. I went out to the beach, Jacko, and I saw some different things like alligator and some different birds and different stuff like that. I mostly took pictures with my camera, so I didn't YouTube the birds and things like that because I need a zoom camera to be able to capture that very well. So the YouTube camera that I use is called a GoPro, and this is something that's better just to when you're walking around. It's a great camera to use. So I didn't use it for those particular places, but I did use my zoom in better camera for that with the volcano, so I'm going to put that video up soon. You're going to see that. So take a look for that soon. If you're new to the channel and you like this, make sure that you like it and make some kind of comment. Just kind of maybe tell me something about your connection with Costa Rica or what made you interested in it. When you make comments on it, it puts the video in the algorithm, and then other people can find it. You know, if nobody likes or comments something, then it'll kind of disappear and nobody will be aware of it, if you know what I mean. So yeah, if you're interested in this. Also, if you're interested in to see my other Costa Rica videos, I have everything organized by country. So just click on the one that says Costa Rica. There's going to be I think there's going to be 5 videos maybe by the time I'm done. So you can see in each one of them. So I think one of them is the longest one. I think is maybe 45 minutes, and usually between 15 to 45 minutes. This one's going to be 18 minutes. Okay. So yeah, definitely do that. I guess what I like is when I started going in the back of the shop, there was there's like some meat to the left, and then I saw these places. There's some people right there. They're just sitting there and eating in these kind of small little. That one's a bakery, but just like different. And there's another one right to the right, so they actually get their little. I don't know what it is, like beefsteak sandwich or something like that, or whatever. The food in Costa Rica was amazing, by the way. I mean, you can actually see some of the fresh vegetables and fruits and things like that. And the meat's right there too. So man, the food was great. I always thought, I used to live in South America a long time ago, and the food was okay there, but it was but I just kind of noticed on this trip in particular. So I was this particular trip I was in Colombia, but a long time ago I was in Brazil, Ecuador, Argentina, Bolivia, Peru, Chile. And I just noticed that the closer I get to Mexico, the better the food gets. So when I made the transition, the food was already pretty good in Colombia, no doubt about it. But then I went up to Costa Rica and man, this is even better because there's more tortillas and things like that, corn tortillas. Where when I was in Colombia, it was more it still had the beans and rice, which I really like, with meat, and papas fritas, French fry would be added there sometimes too, and which is fine. I like that too. So. But when I got up near here, I was able to put a rice and bean with a tortilla, and it was oh man, the food in Costa Rica was amazing actually. I kind of thought maybe Mexico was maybe unique to Latin America because I just didn't see anything like that so much in South America. And but then when I got to Costa Rica, I'm no, it's definitely here. So yeah, I'm kind of curious, maybe if if that's kind of typical throughout Central America, could I also find that in Nicaragua? I'm kind of curious if I could find corn tortillas and things like that. Anyways, as I'm walking around, you can see more shops, and you could always stop and pause and see what kind of food they're eating in those little places. I think sometimes I don't mind carrying around a camera, but sometimes I don't really want to focus on somebody who might not want to be focused on, so kind of just breeze by them. It's kind of interesting, right? I'm going to walk out of here in a minute, but I'm just kind of checking out what that is, and then we're back out on the street. And there's a police mobile. Yeah, actually, the police kind of monitored that street as well, so I'm not really sure if there's a need for it or not. I have no idea. I felt pretty safe in walking around Pedestrian Street in particular. See, these girls working in the shops. I think they were calling out something, so there's some other ones calling out too, so I think they were trying to get customers, and so it's kind of interesting. So I think the camera just stopped at that spot because the footage ended right at that spot, and then they turned it back on again. So I think I might have went into a store or something like that. So, and I'm going up Pedestrian Street again. Actually, this is one of the things I really liked about. And I think to the right, I think these might be. I think some locals would say they're Nicaraguan. I don't know if they are or not, but if you know, you can let me know. But they attracted some of the tourists. They would come, and you can see actually there's that whole row has some people looking at their merchandise. Yeah, I really liked the pedestrian streets actually. They were really busy in the daytime and active and lively, and then at nighttime it became like maybe like about 9 o'clock. It was almost deserted, and by like 10:30, most of the shops had closed, and it was almost completely deserted. I stayed in a hotel like right on this main street here, this pedestrian street. About a block and a half away from here, I stayed, and I had a view of the street, so I would hang out with this other American guy that I know, and we would just kind of drink our beer and talk about Costa Rica. And I noticed at nighttime, this all these people were basically gone. All the shops had closed up. I thought that was interesting because like I'm living in Asia, so Asia is more 24/7, and I'm from the United States, which is also very 24/7. But at nighttime it closes down a lot in the United States, but in Asia it doesn't. It just keeps going all night. So if you see this in Asia in the daytime, you'll probably see it kind of similar at nighttime. You just have more neon lights and more like food hawker stuff. But I was kind of surprised Costa Rica is not really like that. It really closed up by a certain time at night, or maybe just moved to a different location. I don't really know. I didn't really see what people did at night. I was kind of focused mostly on this street, and I liked it, so I didn't really see the need to move around that much, and I wasn't really looking for the best place to be at 11 o'clock or midnight or whatever either. So I might have missed something. You have kind of these cool sculptures in the middle of pedestrian street too, and yeah, it's pretty visually engaging. I walked away with a pretty good impression of Costa Rica. When I went there, I was a little bit indifferent. I knew it was getting very popular with Americans, and I wasn't sure if that was a positive or negative. I mean, it's positive that they're interested, right? Because that means there's something interesting about it that's attracting them. But I was kind of under the impression maybe it was like, I don't know, sometimes that could bring other issues that are negative, like could be all kinds of different stuff. I won't even speculate on them, but I just was thinking, maybe Costa Rica is already, I don't know, California-ized or Disneyland-ish or something like that, but it's not. It's just its own little thing going on, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I really liked it. I walked away with a pretty good impression, very strong impression of it. Much even a better one. Like I didn't really have a negative one before. I just knew it was a good place a lot of people liked. I didn't really know why, 100%. But once I went there, I knew it. I could tell why, and I think a lot of this because the people were pretty, good people. Like, had really good experiences. People that I interacted with, including taxi drivers and hotel staff and restaurant exchanges and places like that. So I guess I do wish it was. I do wish that this street was more active late into the night, though. It'd be more interesting if there was some more activity, at least in one of the pedestrian street blocks. At a certain time of night. I think that would have been more interesting, but maybe that was another place. This is actually the hotel lobby. When I walk into my hotel, there's that's the spot right there. So at nighttime I was able to sit right there, and I could kind of look through those plants, which kind of gave a little bit of anonymousness, because there wasn't a lot of people at nighttime, but I don't know if somebody was drunk or whatever. You don't want to be an obvious target, but it's not that would. But I think in Costa Rica that wasn't really an issue. It wasn't really on my mind at all. So I think in this particular video, I think what I do is I might go around the corner. I definitely walked around different streets off the pedestrian street, so I think I did here too. So yeah, okay, you're gonna get a view of what it looks like when you get off the pedestrian strip. And the road gets really narrow, and it's a little bit harder to walk. It's hard to get around people. So it kind of made the pedestrian street a bigger pull, because if you're walking around in this, and it's like, oh man, I gotta step to the side every 2 seconds, get around this person, get around this person, get around this person. They're all coming at me. And that was kind of my experience. And sometimes the sidewalk's a little bit more like, I don't know, it's like this one is more or less fine, but you can kind of see there's some stuff on the sidewalks like that could like if you're with somebody who had high heels, you know, they might get caught up in some of that, you know what I mean? Or just like the way the sidewalk's kind of jagged in places, like, and the fact it's this narrow as another. But I think it's good for you to see. So as a viewer, you get to see a whole other element. 'Cause I don't see that many GoPro videos of Costa Rica and San Jose. Very, very few, and the few that I have were on pedestrian street. So I think this might be interesting for somebody just to fill in the gaps and kind of see what it's like when you're not on pedestrian street. You know, you got these little narrow sidewalks with the roads of cars going by, so you don't really have a lot of maneuverability, basically. But as you can see, like, you know, there's like stores all over the place. The whole commerce is alive and kicking in this city. And yeah, people are pretty friendly when I went into shops. You know, of course they possibly see me as a tourist, so they see me as adding a little bit of money into their money till, right? So it's fine though. I mean, you can also you can be in another place where they're trying to get that, but a little aggressive or whatever. But here they're just, you know, good people. So okay, I'm gonna go back down towards pedestrian street. So this street right here leads back into pedestrian street. If I take a left, which I'm pretty sure I do, but I must cross the street and go down. I think I might even go to a shop in this area. Oh, nope, I guess okay, no. Okay, I did turn around, and now I'm gonna go back. And if you see that orange building, that's actually where the hotel that I stayed at. The name will come to me later. I can't recall it at the moment, but you'll probably see the sign for it in a minute, anyways. Or you can always find the other ones and do a Google search. If you're looking to stay in the same hotel right on that pedestrian strip walkway. Walked into here for a minute, just kind of checked it out, and I got all the tourist goods again. So hello. I think I kind of just browse around a little bit, and I head back out again. So, but you can see what kind of knickknacks you can find. Toucan birds. I think it's toucan, right? Toucan. Artwork. Yeah, it's a pretty cool city though. So okay, this is gonna be ending in a minute. I think I just walk out and I turn off the camera, potentially.
No, not yet. Just looking to see what is here.
So alright, so I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, just make sure that you make a comment. That would be I'd really appreciate that. Just just why you're even interested in Costa Rica. That kind of makes it so that the video is available for other people to see, because it goes into the YouTube algorithm. All right, thank you all.
Chiquinha, chiquinha, toma cuidado da bovidinha.